Yes, good morning, good morning. What's that say? What's that one movie that Robin Williams said? Good morning, Vietnam. Oh man, I gotta go watch that movie again one time. Man, I know Vietnam is not a happy place for a lot of people. I remember Bobby Joe, one of her uncles, was always sharing his times out there. He was in special forces, and he said he used to go on assignments that if he never came back, no one knew he ever left. That's what he told me. He said, but thank God he did come back. You know, things of that nature. And he said there was a lot of crazy things that went on there. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about making your day awesome. Is that on the same side? Both sides. And if you're wondering why I don't have this great flexibility, I'm just going to be honest with you. What?
My wife slapped her.
Oh, my wife trying to tell me she slapped me in the head. No, that really. No, she wouldn't do that unless I'm asleep.
Wait, there's no audio. What? What?
No audio.
What? It says here there's audio.
How about now, George?
What? Keep talking. You gotta
Keep talking. I'm gonna keep talking if there's no audio. George says there's no audio.
Okay.
We're trying to find out if there's audio.
It's there.
Is it there?
Yep, you got audio.
Okay, my wife says there's audio because she turned the phone on and says there's audio. All right, so we missed all the Vietnam and Robin Williams and Good Morning, all that.
It was there the whole time.
So, yeah, but I had, since I've been on the computer for 4 weeks like this, looking down, what has happened is starting about Friday midday, this started tightening up right here on both sides to the point where I have been locked up all weekend. This is the best I have been able to move without crying or dying or screaming or or flinching. I've been working on my peripheral vision, just going left and right with my eyes. Bobby goes, look at that, look at that. I'm going, I can't look at that. I'd like to look at that, but I don't have the mobility to look at that. So it's been a little bit of a challenge this weekend, and so I got to get back to remote learning today at 8 o'clock. Okay, oh, that was you coming up there. She's got audio on her phone. But so that's been the case right there. So I'm a lot better than I have been. I'm still receiving my healing. And I expect that this week this whole thing will be turned around and gone. I'll be back to normal, if whatever normal is for the most part. But let's take a sip of coffee. We're going to celebrate this morning because I'm making my day awesome. Devil, you're not winning this battle. It's good stuff right there. How was your weekend? Why don't you type in there, good, okay, awesome, great, phenomenal, whatever word comes to your mind, and hit the like, hit the share button out there. Let's get some people up this morning. It's 7 a.m. It's Monday morning, and I'm hoping that maybe somebody will be getting on there to listen to me on the way to work, on the expressway. We're going to talk about disciplining the mind. And I really believe that the things that I'm trying to bring here, like this, the PGM, the personal growth moment, is very helpful for people in the morning time. Hey, Brandon, glad to have you with us this morning. Thank you so much. Good morning. Yes, the sunshine in there. I got it. Look at it. He's got a little sun in there. And but we need these types of things in the morning on the way to work. It really sets the stage for a lot of what's going to take place in your day. And I'll get into it here a little bit more. But listening to a lot of garbage doesn't make a lot of sense. You don't need that kind of stuff in your head to dwell on. Man, whoo, boy. I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to, we're believing God for a bigger room to be able to create our little studio where we can get our lighting set the way we want, new cameras and things of that nature, because right now this light is really close to my eye, so if I squint, or go, like that, but it's okay. I'll get used to it. I got good eyes. Yes, I got good eyes. Hallelujah. What'd you say? George, correct me if I'm wrong. Mucha vista? Good eyes, good eyesight, good vision, something like that? Mucha vista? Man, thank you so much. Man, we got a lot of people on there. Man, thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Yes, what a moment this is today. We're going to be talking about disciplining the mind. Disciplining the mind. Man, I'll be in prayer for my little dog today. He's 9 months old, almost 9 months old. He thinks he has to mark everything he sees outside. And then he started marking a couple things in the house. And I'm going, okay, it's time to go to the vet. It's time to go snip, 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 snip. Okay. So he's a little boy, so I think you get a clue as to what I'm talking about this morning, okay? And but as soon as we're done with this, Bobby's going to take him. All right, let's get started here this morning because, again, we're only here for like just a short time. It's a personal growth moment, the PGM moment. Thank you for being here. Thank you for locking in with us. And, I've always thought if you're going to take a step forward, you're going to have to ask yourself one particular question. There's going to be many questions, but there's one particular question that you need to ask yourself. How disciplined is your mind? If you're going to transition from where you are to where you want to be, how disciplined is your mind? The reason I ask that is because your mind can be your biggest enemy or it can be your biggest friend, depending on how you program it. That's right. It depends on how you program. A lot of times we want to blame other people for our circumstances or our lack of getting things done or our lack of motivation or our inability to complete a task on time. And we can't always be blaming other people. Yes, there are extenuating circumstances that will contribute to those things at times. But for the most part is how disciplined is your mind? See, because many people are not really intentional about their thinking. Whatever bobbles up, whatever comes into mind, whatever person says, whatever the media talks about, we begin to take that and we begin to run with it as if it's truth. And we all know there's a lot of fake news that's going on out there right now. But they allow these things to control their mind. And whatever controls your mind controls you. Got it? I'm going to say it again. Whatever controls your mind controls you. Therefore, that's why we have to really protect our minds. You have to discipline yourself to protect your mind. When I would go walking with my kids down the street and dogs would come by and my kids were very small, I would discipline my child by grabbing my child and picking them up or bringing them to the other side of the dog. I was taking control of the situation. And that's what you do when you discipline your mind. You take control of the situation upstairs in your head. Now, even the Bible talks about this. In Proverbs 23:7, it says, as a man thinks, so is he. As a man thinks, so is he. Think is an action verb. Is a state of being verb. And so what happens is whatever you think creates the state that you're going to live in. Oh, I think that spoke to somebody right now. How you think creates the state that you're going to live in. What is the atmosphere that you're living in right now? What is the environment like that you're living in? Did you create it because of the way you thought? Think about this. When people go in to decorate a house, they see it in their mind before they see it in the house. So how they thought created the environment that is in the house. Parents, as you think, what kind of environment are you creating for your child at home? Bosses, what kind of environment are you creating for your employees over there? I worked for somebody one time who got upset that people were late, but they were always late themselves. So if you're constantly late, how can you harp on other people being late? Because you're creating that. If it's not important to you in your mind, then why should it be important? Oh, I'm going to go on right now. See, how you process your thoughts is a strong indication about how your life is going to turn out. When you see an obstacle, when you see adversity, or when you see something positive, how you process that determines how it's going to turn out. See, a lot of what happens to you is not because of the problem, it's how you responded to the problem. As a CPS teacher, Chicago Public School teacher, I try to tell my students that when things go wrong, I said, we're responding to what you did. Okay? And it's our response and your response that determines the level of this thing either being resolved or escalating it into something that we never wanted to have happen. See, our thoughts are really a reflection of who we really are. Man, I just want to thank everybody who's tuning in this morning. Howard, Jane, Ella, Sylvia, Billy. Man, the names are going. I know they've been there for a while, but I haven't been able to.
You'll be there a while.
Okay, amen. See, our thoughts are a reflection of who we really are. You think about that. Because when you walk out that door, you've dressed how you think you are. You walk how you think you are. You respond to people how you think you are. Come on now, are you hearing me? and people will treat you based on who you think you are. Gosh, that's a good one right there. See, the content that we think about on a daily basis has the power to transform our minds, our bodies, and our lives. So, what are you thinking about today? What transformation are you bringing into your life? What power are you releasing based on your level of thinking? See, again, people, how they think. In being a coach, this has really helped me out a lot. Being a pastor and being a teacher, how the classroom thinks determines the environment and the culture by which you all will operate in. Think about that. If you're a business leader, what culture are you establishing? Now, you can have a great vision, but if the people are thinking about something else and wanting to do something else, that vision is not going to come to pass because they're creating the culture which says this is how we're going to do things in your office. Same thing in your church, in your classroom. So you got to establish a mindset in that environment to be able to produce the culture that you want to take place, and it's all based on how people think. Come on now. All right. Now, I know this may sound like a little bit of a sermon today, but if you really think about it, the Apostle Paul had the answer to transformation. And it's found in Romans 12:2, where he says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, which means if you want transformation in one area, there has to be renewal in the other. Come on, that's good stuff right there. Transformation comes with a renewal process of how you think. Here's one. Let me give you an example. My marriage. I've always thought my marriage is pretty good. We've been married 23 years, been together 24 years, and so is my wife correcting me? 24 years. Okay, see, that's why you want to do this thing with your wife in another room. 24 years married, 24 years ago, 25 years together. Okay, something like that. I'm close. I'll hear about this later, guys. I got to get my mind transformed right now. But I knew that my marriage needed to get better. So what did I need to do? I need to transform my thinking about the marriage, because we can get in a mindset, it's all good, I'm doing enough, things are taking place. But I had to change more of my approach to her, how I responded to her, the things I was doing for her, the things really I wasn't doing. That's what it came down to. What was I not doing? That's what had to change. And when I began to change it here and realize that, the marriage began to get better. And so when I was doing more, next thing you know, she started doing more, and we both started growing to a higher level in our marriage. And so yeah, you got to change it up here first before things are going to change out here. If change isn't happening in here, it's not happening out there. And that's going to take discipline to change you first, because I know many times you don't believe you're the problem. Ooh, you don't believe you're the problem. But really, we all are the problem. You see, there's got to be a 180-degree change if things are going to really be turned around different in our life. It's got to be 180. Also, you got to restructure your thoughts. I'm trying to move quickly in this because I know people are on a time basis here. You got to restructure your thoughts. See, this is how I see it. I'm gonna go here because I wrote this down here. This is really important. The power of positive thinking is really the power of denying oneself of negative thoughts. I thought, man, that's so simplistic. The power of positive thinking is really the power of denying oneself of negative thoughts. If you can get rid of the negative thoughts, you'll get rid of a lot of the problems in your life. If you'll start thinking about the positive things and stop dwelling on what can happen, what can go wrong, what won't turn around, what won't fix, your whole life will move in another direction. Your health will even get better. Amen? You can't live in a negative realm and expect positive things to take place. You know, I like what John Maxwell said. He said, nobody can motivate himself in a positive direction by continually using negative words. How can you motivate yourself in a positive direction by negative words? You can't. When I used to golf, I was terrible in the beginning. And I had this phrase, I would say, you idiot. You're terrible. You can't even hit that ball like where you need to. Look at that. You missed another putt. And I realized, how can I move myself in a positive direction with golf if I'm always talking bad about myself? So there's someone out there right now, you need to stop talking bad about yourself. When you make a mistake, you made a mistake, pick it up and move on. All right? Negative people and negative information will always move you in a negative direction. Early morning. Let me get a sip of coffee here and move on. Most people would have water. How am I doing on time, babe?
Close.
I'm close. Okay, I got to finish up here. All right. See, a lot of our life is built around patterns. If you're going to change your life, you have to change the pattern. See, patterns dictate habits. When you talk about here, watch these movies, oh, he had a pattern of doing this. She had a pattern of doing that. Patterns dictate habits. And patterns are like blueprints. When you look at the blueprint, you see the pattern, you know what the future is going to look like. So some of you, look at the pattern of your behavior. Or employers, look at the pattern of your employees. Look at the pattern of the productivity. It may not be where you want it to be. Why? You got to change the pattern. You got to get them to follow the pattern. Minds follow patterns. And when minds follow patterns, they begin to repeat a specific design or action. One of the things that we weren't really rich growing up, and so my mom was a big sewer, and she bought those patterns. And so she ended up making my graduation suit. And it was based out of a pattern. I would watch her put it out. She would pin the pattern to cloth and then cut around it and begin to follow the pattern. And eventually what was on the cover became what I was wearing. Why? She followed the pattern. And so many times we follow a pattern that is really not good for us, not beneficial for us, nor is it beneficial for where we're working at or what we're trying to do in our family. All right, let me finish up here real quick. I got 4 action steps to disciplining your mind. 4 action steps to disciplining your mind. And so hopefully this will help you. Number 1, ready? Disciplining your mind will require sacrifices. Yes, you're going to have to get rid of people, places, and things in your life that are not moving you in the direction that you want to go. So you're going to have to sacrifice those things. I don't know how long you've been with them, how long you've known them, or what they've been to your life, but if they're not moving you in the direction that you need to go to become who you want to be, then you're going to have to sacrifice them. Number 2, disciplining your mind will require you to surround yourself with positive people and positive things. Get rid of the negativity. Get rid of the negative people. Get rid of anything that's negative in your life. If it's a cup like this, that so you're divorced and it's a cup that your ex-husband gave you, but every time you see it, you get angry, well, get rid of it. Stop using it. Get it out of your house. You know, you wouldn't let a disease walk in your house, would you? You wouldn't let a flock of mosquitoes, or whatever, a bunch of mosquitoes come in your house, would you? No. You'd get rid of them. So get rid of things. Surround yourself. If you got friends that ain't making it, get rid of them. If you're at work and you're in a cubicle around negative people, say, hey, can I move to this area, this side of the office where the positive people are? Number 3, disciplining your mind will require you to fill your mind with positive music, positive messages, positive words, positive images. Don't get up in the morning and start watching the negativity of the news right away. Fill yourself with something positive. Man, I don't go to the news right away. I have other things that I do. I want positivity. When I drive to work, when it comes back in, I got a 45-minute ride. I don't fill it with news. I fill it with positivity in my head. All right, and number 4, disciplining your mind will require you to avoid putting destructive, hurtful junk, again, into your brain. Kind of basically the same thing as number 3. What is hurtful? What is hurtful? You know, I see people right there when they break up with somebody and they got to play that song, that negative song, that old song that brings back those hurt memories. Why? Let it go. Move on. Transition. It's time to get over stuff and time to get into what you want to do, what you want to become. But it's going to take you disciplining your mind. If you're going to live your life motivated, you're going to have to change the way you think, discipline your mind, create new patterns, and face those challenges head on. Why? Because you can do it. Man, it's been great having you this morning. I hope this has been a blessing to you. I hope this has been something that you could work with. And again, I want you to make sure that you live motivated from within, not without. Hey, make today awesome. Man, I hope you've been hitting like. I hope you've been hitting share. I hope this has been really helping you. I hope it helps other people. If you've watched it today, tell other people to tune in later and watch it later. And then also we're coming back on Wednesday night again now. Wednesday night with Living the Good Life. Have a great day.
Bye.